Alright, I know. The meme is done. It's been dust in the wind for months now. But seriously, Spider-Man did get morbed pretty recently in Spider-Man Beyond issue number 4, or Amazing Spider-Man issue number 78, whichever works for you, I guess. Anyway, a little bit of context before we get into this, true believers. See, we're not following Peter Parker for this particular Spidey outing. Clone from the original Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Ben Reilly has long since lived in Peter's shadow. But when the Beyond Corporation bought the rights to the Spidey name and likeness, they asked Ben to be their corporate-sponsored superhero. Ben begrudgingly agreed, and swung into battle against the UFOs alongside his brother. Ben's new high-tech spider suit protected him from the UFOs' poisonous gas and radioactive blasts. But Peter's regular old red and blues? Not so much. With Peter in a coma, Ben is now the sole Spider-Man on the streets, and he's got a lot of work to do. We open on the sensational Spider-Man out on patrol, spotting several less than healthy scientists lying in an alleyway. Upon investigation, he spots Jared Morbius the Living Vampire, which is kinda weird. Ben thought old Dr. M had gone back to doing good work, that he had it all together after his last little setback. But nope, this does not look all together. Not one bit. Ben hops down from his perch, trying to approach the vampire in a calm manner so he can maybe get out of this without a fight. Morbius, Michael, what's going on here, man? Tell me you didn't do all this. But Morbius isn't in much of a talkative mood, unfortunately. He screeches, lunging at Ben with an attack our blonde wallcrawler can barely dodge. Ben tries to keep playing it cool, lay on the old Spidey quips, but still continue to try to communicate. Get to the man underneath all that mascara. But all he gets is a gurgled yell in response. And since Grag isn't super helpful, Spidey elects to just web first, ask questions later. Maybe talking this out isn't gonna work after all. Ben takes a hard swipe to his right, before landing a double strike with both legs right into the vamp's face. Morbius screams at Spider-Man, saying he needs his blood. But Ben isn't having it. That's not what he needs to hear. He webs Morbius to the ground, quickly rushing to some of the fallen lab coats. He knows he saw some of those bodies still moving, but he doesn't double tap like you should, and doesn't have enough time to react to Morbius breaking free of his sticky prison. Spidey's too busy checking for a pulse on one of the scientists to see exactly where the good doctor scurries off to, but his spider sense warns him just a little too late that he's right behind him. The web slinger is sucker punched with the force of a freight train, stunning Ben just long enough for the vampire to get a hold of him. As clawed hands wrap around his throat, Spider-Man wonders if he's always been this strong, this fast. Morbius whispers a solemn "forgive me," and before our hero can break the vampire's grip, sharp fangs rip through his costume and plunge straight into his flesh. This can't be happening. Ben just narrowly breaks free soon enough to dodge a fatal blow, but the damage has already been done. The web slinger's losing a lot of blood, but thankfully the suit is self-healing and stops the flow. For now, anyway. He chokes out that they can still talk this out, but Morbius doubles over, turning to face Spidey with a fearsome grimace, saying it's not working. Ben remembers that Morbius once bit Peter in an attempt to heal himself, soaking up some of that superpowered blood. Is that what he's doing? Using Ben's blood as a cure? Spider-Man pulls off a PS4 Spidey takedown, but it's still not enough to take the villain out for the count. Plus, he already feels like he's gonna faint. And that can't happen. Even if Morbius doesn't end him, the embarrassment will. Another clawed strike lands, catching Ben by the leg and tearing his costume to ribbons. Spidey remarks that he can't keep this up, but he can't leave Morbius here either. Our favorite blonde spider guy hatches a plan, knowing that the vampire is locked in on his blood specifically now, and he knows just where to lead him. Ben leaps out of the alley with Morbius in hot pursuit, saying this isn't one of his best ideas, but it's hardly his worst. Spider-Man makes it back to his apartment, the Beyond Tech verification AI immediately IDing him and giving a cheeky little comment about how he looks terrible. Ben fires right back, saying considering what he's been through, he looks great. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. Spidey turns, seeing Morbius has followed him right to the door. He gives a half-hearted quip, saying the vampire isn't invited, and that his security system is no joke. He's just gotta stay right there and Ben can get him some help. Morbius still isn't listening though, and flies right in after our hero, before getting stopped in his tracks by a superheated laser through his left torso, which severs his freaking arm, dude! Dazed and wounded, the vampire tries to stumble away, but Ben shouts, trying to run after him. But it's no use. He finally succumbs to his blood loss and falls backward into Janine's arms. Security and paramedics are already on the scene, loading Ben onto a stretcher, and picking up the pieces of Morbius left behind, including his nipple. Anyway, back at the Beyond Medical Department, doctors are busy using a fancy schmancy machine to remove specific parts of Spidey's costume to look for damage. Seeing the puncture wound on his neck, one doctor asks just who he was fighting. The intercom chimes in, and head of Beyond's superhero division, Maxine Danger, lets him know it was Morbius the Living Vampire, to which Dr. Bailey suggests readying the antitoxin. But Maxine, in her definitely not villain era, asks just what would happen if they let Ben fully morb out, so to speak. The doc is surprised, saying the risks are just too much to even consider such a thing. But Maxine cuts him off, saying they should be bold. I mean, a Spider-Man vampire hybrid would make for a research goldmine, right? But literally everyone present is like, no, that would be a terrible idea, please don't do that, Maxine. And finally, she caves, leaving Ben to heal, completely unaware that he almost became the hit blockbuster Morbius 2. It's Morbid time. And yeah, true believers, that's it. Pretty crazy that Spider-Man almost became a vampire, right? How would that have looked? Oh, and if you're wondering what these definitely not evil rich corporatists did with those Morbius pieces, nothing all that interesting, honestly. They injected into the lizard off screen, and the writing for Beyond is kinda dog water, so it just amounts to a big kaiju fight that lasts a single issue, and never got followed up on. Fun, right? Anyway, that's all for now, folks. I'll slap a Spidey voiceover on the end here for you to enjoy. So, this is the Synth Voice Network signing off for the night. Go have some hot cocoa, bundle up, and hey, if you're lactose intolerant, I don't know, have some cider, I guess? Freak. I almost died tonight. And yeah, I get it. That happens a lot. But this felt different. And the truth is, if I'm being honest, nothing has felt right. For a long time. I think I know why. We've been through so much together. Survived so much together. And I know that on my end at least, if you hadn't been there, I wouldn't have survived it. Because yeah, I can do a lot of things. Swing from buildings, climb walls, all that stuff. But to do this, and do it right, I need you. I wish I had all the answers. I wish I knew how to make everything better and safer and easier and simpler. But I just can't anymore. Maybe this is a mistake. I'm sorry. This isn't fair to you. Maybe I should